Beautiful people, what's up? Here we are, still in Bielefeld 2019, and I am with the legendary Dom, also known as Mr Spiral in Spiral. And Dom is one of the characters I've seen in this kind of setting and in also the dance scene setting for years. Really a pioneer, early pioneer with setting up dance venues, creating dance events, and being very much like a key figure in the psychedelic dance music scene. And now you've evolved much more into holding conscious dance spaces, your own very unique blend called Heartwave. And I'm here just taking the opportunity to speak to him about his journey with dance, music, that whole scene, and becoming a facilitator and why he's ended up coming there. So do you want to give us a little taster of your history with dance and what got you into the dance scene and what that was like for you?
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Great intro, Marcus. So happy to dive right in. So dance really has been a feature for me for at least 25 years, and it was the early vehicle with which I entered the alternatively expensive community. And so I was in London, a student of quite sort of mainstream background in some ways, and somehow yearning to find something to connect me with the bigger kind of picture. And I stumbled into the dance electronic music scene at the time without any substances. I got so sucked into the beauty of expression on these dance floors, because these dance floors back in the days, they were about love, they were about connection, they were about playfulness, they were about sort of unleashing this sort of untamed inner playfulness. And I love that. It wasn't about picking someone up and looking cool and kind of being something that you're not. It was about being who you really are. And then that really drew me into a deep exploration of dance, and I got very much involved in mixture of virtual contemporary, contact improv. Five Rhythms wasn't really on the scene back then, and I wanted to do performance art, and so I ventured into video installations, expressing myself through the medium of dance in a way that I felt words just wouldn't suffice to say and tell a story. There was an exquisite kind of opportunity in how we moved that was speaking to a different part of ourselves rather than the mind. So this sort of embodied expression. And then I got swept into kind of being an organizer, organizing these kind of platforms for loads of people, and it became more of a background kind of aspect of my own expression. I was still loving dancing, and Five Rhythms came along, and that's been really quite instrumental in getting people out of the drug and party scene into a more conscious kind of container. And for me, I guess another aspect to express is that dance has been incredibly liberating. There's been an opportunity for connection with others, and also the yin-yang of male and female that isn't so loaded, that hasn't got all the story attached to, ooh, are we making out, are we having an affair, is this a couple? So to be able to meet someone in this really authentic place where you're maybe acknowledging, oh, I like your energy, and play with her, and then that's it. The beauty of the moment where you're experiencing this profound magical connection which nurtures and nourishes so deeply, and then for it to just fade away. It's such a beautiful metaphor for really what life is, how the eternal moment of now sweeps through, and there we are having these phenomena, these beautiful experiences of life. And so in many ways I feel that I've grown so much as a person, exploring my own layers of inhibition, my layers of how I show up, the layers of interpersonal complexity, the yin-yang of male-female attraction, all these sort of meeting points of these edges of myself I've managed to grow through dance. And so over the last few years I got to a place where I felt really inspired to find a way to give that gift to others in return, because I know that on my soul's journey it's been profound. And so Heartwave was born about 2.5 years ago in me really quite tentatively initially thinking, how can I do this? I have no official certificate, I've got no, I didn't pay £10,000 for some particular kind of training, and yet I felt so rich in what I'm able to offer in return. I've got the musical background, I've got all the sort of influences, and I've got, I dare say, a voluptuous, beautiful musical collection which I'm ever so excited to share with the world. And then my work through tantra, through meditation, through contact improvisation, a lot of shadow work, process work, man's groups, working with the archetypes in this container. And so over a process of a year, when I said, I'm doing this, And that's part of my motto, you know, just at that edge of insecurity, not knowing whether we have what it takes to step in and just get a little bit outside that edge and do it. Just do it. And so I stepped in. I said, okay, let me see what emerges out of this. And even some of them were a bit clumsy, and some of them were maybe, you know. And I came out of quite a few of these dance workshops going like, oh my god, you know, can I really hold this? And then the next one was profound and beautiful, and people were touched and moved, and there's something coming through, and I experienced a deepening and a richness in how I'm now holding these workshops, because my last few years have been so rich. You know, on a spiritual level, my whole life constellation has taught me to stop looking outwards, to look inwards, and it's from that inner richness that I'm looking to communicate now that which is so deeply sacred and important to me. So my workshops now they're like medicine works in some ways. You know, it's a meditative space, it's sacred, we go deep, we go right to the edge of where it's discomforting and uncomfortable, where, you know, the shadowy parts of us doesn't want to be shown, we want to hide, you know, want to look cool, and, you know, in witnessing and going to that place and being supported in that place, really some magical transformations happen. And it's always, when before maybe it was about creating community and connection and overcoming the inhibitions that stop us from being together through more of an emotional interplay, and now approach this journey from much more of a spiritual depth, because I know that we're not separate. You know, and actually to feel this in dance as we're co-creating this weave, this matrix, this organism that, like a swarm of fish in this chaotic beauty, morphs into one heart. And in that place to really find togetherness beyond the stories of the mind. I'm not good enough, I fancy you, I'm feeling rejected, I should, I can't, I must. You know, there's a place where actually we soften and the heart's open, the state of kind of, you know, awareness in the heart is elevated, the mind's sort of out of the way, we're in an embodied connection. That's what I'm really effusive and excited about.
You're excited to bring people into that space and have that experience.
Absolutely, yeah.
What would you say to someone who's never been to like a 5 rhythms class, or even ecstatic dance, which is a lot more kind of entry level really, and they were going to say, hey Dom, I want to come to your class, but what should I expect? What
I say to people generally is you have to have no prior experience of dance. You know, you can even be, I've had 75-year-olds come to my class, you know, who are not very agile and mobile, you know, and they do their thing. It's not about what you're able to bring physically. There needs to be a willingness to be present, to explore, and what I also say is there needs to be a willingness to engage with others. And I totally respect, you know, there are times when, and the 5 rhythms class is great for that, where you just want to go and shake it out, dance in the corner, be clear, you don't want to engage with anyone, and that's perfectly fine. That's a great place for it. If you come to my work, you need to be willing to engage.
You want to help people confront some of their kind of their comfort zones, get outside of it, because that's where the growth happens, isn't it? If you just always stay in your comfort zone and you're afraid to kind of connect with people in a more authentic way, you never discover that actually there's a part of you that loves that, and loves that deeper intimacy and connection with everyone, not just maybe with your significant other or your family, but you see that love is something you can share with everyone. I've been to his classes, and every class is different, and you never quite know what's going to happen, but inevitably by the end of it, we're all in this cuddle kind of puddle, melting, and just people looking into each other's eyes and just feeling that deep richness and gratitude for being alive. And I think it's I have to take my hat off to you for having just gone like, right, I'm just going to do this. I haven't been given a certificate or whatever, but I know that I love this. I know this work is needed in the world. We need, because you're also passionate about taking this into like corporate spaces where people don't come across this work, but actually if they did come across it, they would realize like, wow, this is medicine. This is medicine. It's real life-changing stuff. So where can people find out about your classes?
So I have a website, it's called heartwave.dance, and I've got a Facebook group called Heartwave Dance Community. And I hold classes at the moment once a month in Forest Row on the 3rd Saturday of each month in a beautiful space there, and slightly less regular on a monthly or 2 monthly basis in London at the House of Togetherness. It's a beautiful venue. and other things are emerging. So if you want to get on my mailing list or somehow be connected, then just kind of get in touch.
I will put all those details underneath wherever this video shows up so that you guys can find out more about Dom and his classes. And do you have any mixes up or anything so people like
when
what
you get
kind
on
of
my
music?
mailing list, each time after an event I post the Spotify link to my my playlist. And people love that.
That's the way to get in touch with some seriously cool music. I have to say, every DJ has like a kind of, they tend towards one kind of pool of music, and when I come to Dom's, I'm like, damn man, where does he find all this cool music from? There's all these, it just opens me up to all these other influences that I wouldn't have naturally found myself, and lots of stunning music, especially some really like the music that takes you into a really tender space, which is
you know, that is the depth of where I reside. I thrive in the delicate, soft, melancholic but not sad, heart opening kind of tiny spaces, you know. And the dance I love most isn't where the beat carries you automatically, it's where you have the spaciousness to find your own flow. You know, that is such magic when you can connect.
oh, epic, guys, if you're not kind of convinced that you should come along to one of his classes, you're basically crazy, really. So Dom,
thank you, Marcus.
Dominik Schnell, thank you so much for this little interview. I hope that was of some use for some guys out there, and much love and ciao.
Ciao.
Yeah.